So excited for you to join me for this unique hat. This is an awesome stitch. It's the Crochet Knit Purl stitch. It first debuted on TikTok randomly one night. I threw it on there and it got a lot of views. And I had a lot of patterns coming, so here they are. This is the first one debuting. This is the hat. This is the adult, small adult size. Today on the video, I'm going to be using the Swish worsted weight yarn in Dove Heather. This one is in copper, the color copper. This is a 100% fine Superwash Merino Wool by Crochet. It is a worsted weight. I'm going to be making the newborn size for the video today in this gray. I really love working with the copper. They have so many great colors in Swish. Check it out. You will also need a 5mm H hook. This is the Purl Streamline. This is their like cafe line. And then you'll need a yarn needle to weave in those ends, scissors, of course, and then an optional pom-pom if you want. I think the pom-poms are super cute, so I'm going to put one on the newborn one as well. This is a bit bigger of a one, and then this is a little bit smaller. It's really helpful for these if you take a hair blow dryer when you first get them, if you order them from Amazon, and just blow them out to fluff them up a little bit. I also have a tutorial on the blog on how to make these for yourself if you want to make them. So let's go ahead and get started. While I am making the newborn hat today, I just want to mention that all the sizes are free on the blog from newborn to large adult. So if you want to make a different size, you can jump on over to the blog for written instructions, but the video will be making the newborn size. I'm going to start by creating a slip knot and placing that onto my hook. For the newborn size, we are going to chain 15. Now this is what will make our ribbing. This hat is worked from bottom up. So we're creating this ribbing first, then we'll do the body, join it at the top, and do the pom-pom. So we're starting with this ribbing. For the video today, I'm going to be doing something kind of fun. You can blame my friend Shauna. She really wanted me to try this, and it's the double slip stitch ribbing. It's really fun. If you don't like it, feel free to substitute. What I'm going to do is single crochets in place of the double slip stitch. So I'm going to start in the second chain from the hook, and how we do the double slip stitch is we yarn over, we insert our hook into the stitch. For this, it's the second chain from the hook. Then we yarn over, and the loop we pull up, we're going to pull through all the loops on the hook. Sometimes I like to pull through the first loop and then get it through the next two. It's just the flow I tend to do. So let's see that again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and then pull that through all the loops on the hook. And that is the double slip stitch. You will do this across this row for a total of 14 stitches. So now for row 2, we will turn our work, and I know traditionally we chain one on the end. I'm going to go ahead and do it, but you don't have to. You can omit those chains. I want to do it for this time because I want to show you the difference here. This is without chaining on the edges on the beginning of the row, and I'm going to do this one when I do chain on the beginning of the row, and we're going to see the difference. Whether you chain one or you don't, it's going to look great. So I'm going to go ahead and chain one, and then I'm going to do the double slip stitch in the back loop only for the remaining rows in this ribbing instruction. So the back loop only, if you look at the top of your stitches, it's the farthest one away from you. We normally go through both of those loops, but not for this. To make that ribbing, we're going to yarn over and go into the back loop only. Then pull up that loop through all the loops on the hook. Now the remaining rows for this ribbing will be worked in the back loop only. You will Now the remaining rows for this ribbing are going to be worked in the back loop only. You will continue to work row 2 until you have the amount of rows you need for the size you're working. So for size newborn, we will be doing a total of 52 rows of ribbing. So I'm going to just keep working this double slip stitch in the back loop only, and every stitch across, turning and doing that again until I have 52 total rows. And once I've worked 52 rows for this size newborn, we can see this beautiful rib stitch really come to life. So it's just working back and forth for 52 total rows for this size. And notice it does have quite a bit of stretch. And this is a fold over band, so it will fold up once worn. But what we need to do next is we need to join our current edge with our first edge. So to do this, we're simply going to fold in and bring those edges together, and then we will be slip stitching through the back loop of our current row, and then we're going to catch the loop from the first row. Yarn over and slip stitch those all together. So let's do that again. Back loop of our current row, insert into the loop from our first row, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. We'll complete this all the way across, joining those edges together. Once we've slip stitched all the way across, like I said, this hat will be a fold up edge. So then you simply need to decide which edge you want to be seen folded up. I like this one the way it is. So if I can start working around this top and I fold this up, that looks quite nice. So now to get going on the body of this hat. The next steps are to work around the side of this ribbing to create the hat working this way. What we will do next is we are going to slip stitch 52 stitches around, which means you're simply slip stitching 1 stitch per edge. So we're simply going to slip stitch 52 stitches around, 1 stitch per edge, and making sure that we do not pull those slip stitches too tight because we still want this to fit with that flexibility. If you do a slip stitch too tight, it may stop the hat from being able to expand as you put it on your head. And then I just wanted to know, I said I would come back and compare these. So this is without chaining and this is with chaining. So they're very similar, but one doesn't use a chain and one does. So really it's just what you prefer. I'm going to finish slip stitching around the top of this for 52 stitches and then come right back. So now that I've worked back around for 52 stitches, we are ready to start into that beautiful stitch pattern that we'll be using for the body of this hat. Now our first round will be a round of simple single crochets, but we're not going to be joining in this pattern. I have not joined to the very first slip stitch in this round because we're not going to be joining at all. We're working continuously. For this round, we will be working the single crochet stitch into the back loops only of those slip stitches. If you want to mark your stitch, you can go ahead and do so so you know where the beginning of your round is. So single crochet in the back loops only of those slip stitches. So you'll have 52 stitches at the end of this round. And now we are ready for round 2 of this hat. And now we are ready for round 3 of this hat. So for this round, we are going to start working in our stitch pattern. And here's what our stitch pattern is. We do a single crochet in the back loop only for the first stitch, and then we're going to do a split single crochet in the next. What a split single crochet is, this front V, we're going to go right in the center of it. It's also known as a waistcoat stitch. We are going to insert our hook into the center of that V, and on the back side, we will also be going through an upside down V. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Here's the critical part of the stitch. This is what will save your sanity. Pull this loop up a bit higher than you would possibly your normal single crochet stitch. By pulling this up, it gives us more space to work into it on the next round, and we fight that a lot less. So we will single crochet in the back loop only, then do a split single crochet. Single crochet in the back loop, split single crochet. Work that all the way around, and that is actually our pattern repeat. So you will continue to work this round, round 3, again and again and again until we get the hat height. I'm going to work this for a couple more rounds, then come on back so you can see the progress, and then we'll talk about the hat height. So as we keep working the stitch, we can see that beautiful pattern working up, and every single time we work around, we're simply working into the same as the stitch the round below. It's very therapeutic. I have to say a lot of my testers have really enjoyed this stitch, saying that it is calming, and I have to agree. So as far as height for this pattern, for the newborn size, we are going to do a total of 4 inches from this section here. So from our slip stitch round, we will do a total of 4 inches, or about 18 rounds total. That will change depending on the size that you're making, or if you want to customize it to a certain little head. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep working this up until I have the 18 total rounds, and then I'll come on back. So now that I've done 18 rounds and the height of the hat, it's time for us to join at the top, scrunch it together, and finish that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten off, and I will note for the newborn size, I did just use one ball and I had this much left. So it's close, but we have some wiggle room. So I'm going to go ahead and fasten off, leaving like a 12 to 15 inch tail, and I'm going to pull that through and grab my yarn needle. Now to pull this top in, what we're going to be doing is weaving through the front loop only of all the split single crochet stitches. I find by not weaving through every single stitch, it has a little bit less of a bulk at the top. So I'm just going to weave through the front loop only of every split single crochet stitch. And now that I've gone all the way around, I will simply pull this closed. So we're going to take this opening on the top and we're simply going to pull it closed. And then we will weave in our end. And I like to weave back through some of the loops that I just did one more time to really secure that and tighten it down. And the last thing we can do is simply flip up those brims for this super cute look. And now we have a really awesome hat for the colder months. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and come back for more fun projects soon.